Welcome to Inside EKU Sports. We're going to lift the lid on conference play this week. We'll talk about volleyball and football. We begin with Mark Elder. Home game against Tennessee Tech after an off week. These two teams haven't won a game, but that is a deceiving record for both because you've played two very good FBS teams. They played an FBS team, has Tech, and a ranked FCS team. So now we're going to find out on level play and conference who's got the goods.
Yeah, I think that it's two teams that are in very similar situations where neither one of us have found the win column quite yet, but you look at the opponents and how competitive the games have been, and I think it can be a little bit deceiving. So we've obviously played two very good FBS programs, and we were competitive in both, but didn't find a way to win either one of them. They've played 3 games. They played a very good Western Illinois team who's top 20 in the country, Kennesaw State team who's just outside the top 25, and then a very competitive Ball State team. So they've been really competitive in the last 2 games. Probably wasn't their best showing against Western Illinois, but the last 2 games they've been very competitive. They show a very physical football team and really good running backs, a good young quarterback, and a defense that was very good last week against Ball State. So two teams that are trying to find their first win. I think it's 2 very good football teams that are going to be competing this Saturday.
Andre Sale is their redshirt freshman quarterback, second highest passing yards per game behind Tim Boyle of EKU 3 games into the season. The one problem that Tech has had is they're at the bottom of the conference in turnover margin. And obviously, Eastern Kentucky, we've only had 1 turnover forced, so that could be a big factor, as it always is in football.
Yeah,
games.
turnovers is always going to be a major factor, and if I remember right, they had 8 in the first 2 games, and that's really difficult to be -8 in 2 games and to be competitive. And they were still competitive, very, very competitive in the Kennesaw State game. But turnovers is always going to play a big part. And they got that corrected a little bit last week where they had 3 takeaways and only 2 turnovers. So that always will be a major factor in the game. And for us, we've got to do a great job of taking care of the football, understanding how important it is to win in the game, that we can't put the ball on the turf and we can't throw the ball to the other team. And then we've got to do a really nice job and a much better job than what we've been able to in the first 2 weeks of creating turnovers, of taking the ball away from them, whether it be ripping it out of their hands, putting a physical tackle on somebody that pops the ball loose, or stepping in front of a pass at the right time to be able to get the ball back for our offense.
Neither team has a good third down conversion percentage defensively, and I know you want to get that other team off the field. Has that been can you practice that? Can you work on that? And if so, how do you approach the third down plays defensively?
Yeah, absolutely. You can work on it, and we do work on it. So we've been really good offensively. I think we're first in the conference offensively on third down, but we haven't been as good on third down defensively, and it was really hurt us in the first game against Western Kentucky, but absolutely we do work on it. And when you get into third downs, you tend to get into some different packages and different personnel groups and different pressure packages. And so those are things that we practice. And obviously we go good on good with some of that stuff, and then against the scout. So we've just got to tighten up a little bit as far as some of the things that we're doing. I don't think it's a schematic thing where we're doing the wrong things. It's just a matter of we've got to tighten up what we've been doing, and you know, that's a critical situation, because obviously when you get a stop on third down, typically you're going to get the ball back. So we've got to just do a better job from getting the stop or limiting the yards so that we don't put them in a situation where they're now suddenly in a 4th and 1 or 2 where they can and will go for it. Those 2 things we've got to improve.
This is the first home game of the season, big day, the Roy Kidd statue unveiling, all the tailgating going on, and I understand you got a little social media push for some free tickets out there if people get involved. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, we're expecting a great crowd, and we're excited for this game. So I think it's going to be a great game and a great atmosphere for a number of reasons. We got the new visitor side of the stadium that's going to be opening up, which is going to be tremendous. We've got Coach Kidd is getting a statue put up, and so I'm sure that there's going to be a ton of former players of his coming back for that, which is certainly well due, and he's a tremendous coach and really laid the groundwork for this being the program that it is. And then we're also honoring the 50th anniversary of the 1967 Grantland Rice Bowl team. But to try to help push the attendance for this game, the first 1,000 people that either retweet our tweet to help that social media buzz or share it on Facebook, they can get a free ticket in the ticket office from Grant. So the first 1,000 people that do that and show up on the business hours Monday through Friday can get a free ticket that I'm purchasing for them.
I've noticed this staff led by you, you're very social media conscious, and it connects with the kids, and it connects in recruiting, connects in promoting the program. It's very important these days.
It is. And, Lindsay always gives me a hard time because she says I'm like a teenager because I've got my phone out and I'm on Twitter and Facebook and things along those lines, things that I wouldn't be doing if I were not a college football coach. But yeah, it is. It's an important part of things because that's what our players and that's what recruits are doing. They're on social media quite a bit. And so if you want to recruit at a high level, which we do and we certainly want to, you've got to be in those situations where you're connecting with them on their ground, where they're comfortable, which is social media, Twitter, those things.
All right, Mark, really pumped about this conference start. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Sas. Appreciate it.
All right, the Colonels and Tennessee Tech. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff out at Roy Kidd Stadium. Hope to see you out there. Tailgating starts at noon. Check out the new stadium additions that the coach talked about. And don't forget that unveiling of the Roy Kidd statue this Saturday. The public viewing of that, it's in the north end zone, will begin at 3 o'clock. If you can't join us at Roy Kidd Stadium, we certainly hope you do. You can check out our call at 100.7 FM on EKUsports.com, on the internet feed, on the TuneIn app, and also video and audio on the OVC Digital Network. When we come back, we'll check in with one of the anchors of the EKU offense, Center Kagan Skidmore, when Inside EKU Sports continues.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
Senior Kagan Skidmore is now the center anchoring the offensive line for EKU, and he joins us now on Inside EKU Sports. Former Briar jumper out of Somerset, played offensive line, defensive line, and for the first 3 years until late last season, you were on the D line at nose, and now you've made the switch and you're the starting center. How's the transition been, and are you accepting that offensive line position?
Yeah, well, I mean, I played O-line in high school, like you said, so it's been a pretty quick transition for me, and playing defense and knowing, how offenses work, it really was just a flip over and put my hand in a different position.
And this offensive line, a lot of people said coming into the season, it's the question mark. Yeah. You guys have only given up 2 sacks playing 2 good FBS teams, and I see a 7 deep continuity. You have some jumbo packages in there with, offensive tackles out at tight end positions. I've seen a great upside from this line so far.
Well, I think that during camp, I think that was our biggest goal, is to not be that anymore. We're the question mark of the team, and I think we've done a really good job, and we're going to continue to do a good job with that.
You have quarterbacks behind the offensive line that are leaders, whether it's redshirt freshman Austin Scott or the starting quarterback senior Tim Boyle. I mean, that leadership position, and I know you told me off camera that you think running back L.J. Scott has given you that as well. So how important is it to have leaders when you get in that huddle?
I think the thing about offense is it's all about, how we're moving the ball. So if we're not moving the ball very well, I think it's very important to have that leadership so we can, keep the team morale high and keep going and for those big plays to come on offense.
Right now the record's 0-2. That doesn't tell the story. The story is you were very competitive as a team against both Kentucky, and WKU. So how confident is this team as you start OVC play?
I think the team morale is extremely high, and I think that as a unit, we're all extremely excited to play against this Tennessee Tech team.
So Kegan Skidmore is going to graduate from college, and you're going to go off into a career. You have a family that's in the medical profession. So what's the future for you, Kegan?
Well, when I graduate, I want to apply to PA school and eventually, work in a clinic somewhere to help and aid people as much as I can.
Yeah. So. You've said your mom's been a nurse forever, and so you just you feel like the medical profession's a way you can give back. Much like football, it's a teamwork situation.
Yeah. Well, I thought just going through school, what I've always been really good at is my sciences and my math. So it was almost a no-brainer to go into the medical field.
So here we go into OVC play. We know what happened last year. It wasn't the year anybody wanted. What's the goal for this team this year?
Coming this week, we face a very good Tennessee Tech team, and I think we're really excited to play and start OVC play and to continue going with the season.
Okay, good luck. Proud of you.
Appreciate it.
You've been a great colonel. All right, appreciate it. Kegan Skidmore with us. Up next, we're going to talk about volleyball, but first, a look inside the newly dedicated Phase 2 of the EKU Science Building.
EKU is the campus beautiful, the school of opportunity, where you are always welcome, and it feels like home. We're changing how we look, but our mission is still the same, to help you expand your knowledge, discover your passion, and unlock your purpose. Be a Colonel. Your time is now.
Hitting high and deep.
Back of the end zone. Brown got it. Moore drives inside. Put it up. See this one. Swung and missed it.
Now Smith again. Block. Point Tech. Nice turnaround by Johnson. Near post. Kicked in.
Any place, anytime. Find it here. The OVC Digital Network.
We live in an age of technology. As science advances, we find the lines between the traditional disciplines of science blurring as we apply techniques from one discipline to problems in another discipline. With the new science building Phase 2, now we've got a facility where faculty and students have the instruments they need, the equipment they need, the space they need to work together on some really exciting research projects.
In the College of Science, student success is really our passion. We want to do anything we can do to help each and every student we have here to succeed. When it comes to teaching, the classrooms are much more flexible. If somebody wants to use inquiry-based methods, they can do that. Or if they want to use a traditional lecture format, they can do that. So it adds more resources, more flexibility to teaching, more opportunities for research, more equipment. Basically, it's a win-win for our students and our faculty.
21st century geosciences is not the same as 20th century geosciences. We're much more digital and we need to have much cleaner spaces. Now we have 2 geospatial techniques labs. They have monitors that are more appropriate, that they have the appropriate processing power for us to be able to do state-of-the-art geospatial analysis. Now we have a new hydrogeology space with state-of-the-art equipment. So all of these things that are 2017 skills and beyond, we can now do.
Being able to do very in-depth research with these new tools, I'll be able to learn skills that, high-end employers demand.
Because faculty and staff have been so heavily involved in the design of this building, we were able to design some spaces that do some very special things for us. On floor 5, we have 2 very large biomedical research labs that permit faculty and students to work on a variety of very interesting questions in the biomedical field. On floor 4, we have a genomics lab that's been designed to work with isolating and analyzing DNA. It's a real neat cooperative space. We've continued many of the design elements that we started in Phase 1, and a bunch of those are aimed at making the building as environmentally friendly as possible. On Phase 2, a couple of new things that we're doing. There are a couple of spots where we are installing green roofs, and the plants on the roof lower heating and cooling costs, and they're an attractive feature as well. We have a greenhouse behind Phase 2, and that greenhouse uses water that falls on the greenhouse roof. A donor helped us put some solar panels out behind the building, and those are capturing sunlight, turning that into electricity, which is fed into the EKU grid and into the powering of Phase 1 and Phase 2. It's tremendously rewarding to see this building come online. We started with the very first design elements in 2005, and it is absolutely wonderful to see this marvelous building that so many people had a lot to do with come to fruition.
Welcome back to Inside EKU Sports. We talk volleyball now with veteran coach Lori Duncan, who always has the toughest schedule of any athletic team. I don't want to call you crazy, but what a schedule.
I know.
Six states you've already played in. Let me count this up. 3 games in California, 1 in Nevada, 3 in Arizona, 3 in South Carolina, 3 in your home state of Pennsylvania, and you played 1 home match.
Yeah.
Now, the record isn't good, but boy, you've been tested, and now you're ready for the OVC.
We are. And, at this point in time, we were hoping that our record would be a little bit better at this point. But, we've played some of the best teams in the country. We've played 5 teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year. UNLV had a RPI of 30. And we take them to 5, and really felt like we could beat them on their home court. Opened up the season. I think our issue so far this year has been one of stamina. We get out to California, we upset San Diego State the first night on their home court, and then we have to turn around and play the 9 a.m. match the next morning. And we didn't even have 6 hours of sleep. And then we get to UNLV, and it's 118 degrees. So I think the heat, the time change, not having their legs under them. It took us a while. The last 2 weekends, we've competed hard. One of the best matches I think we've had in the last 2 weeks is against Miami of Ohio. They are picked to win the MAC. Very good team. We play them on a Saturday morning in South Carolina, and we went at them. We beat them the first 2 sets, and not just I like to say we punched them in the mouth. We really went at them. We attacked them at every angle, from the back baseline when we were serving, back row attacks, front row. It was really great volleyball. So it gave us an idea of who we can be and who we know we can be. So Pittsburgh, we went up again. Pitt in the NCAA tournament, they're going to be an ACC team to reckon with this fall. I feel good, unbelievably, about where we are. I think the issue is stamina and conditioning level. These teams that we're playing and that we had played all have been conditioning all summer together. Yeah. And we haven't been able to do that. But I think it has helped us with the pace of the game that we're going to play in our conference. That will bode very well for us.
Just like the football team, you open OVC play this weekend, but you're on the road in Nashville. On the road, you're used to that.
Yeah,
you play,
so good to be home.
you play TSU and Belmont. Then you have home matches after that the next weekend, stretching into the game, I think, against Moorhead on October 4th. So into the OVC.
Yeah, I like the way where we start. We play Tennessee State first, Belmont. Of course, we were talking about the teams in the conference that are going to be the teams to reckon with, and that's going to be Belmont, Austin P, SIUE, and we play Belmont and Austin P within the first 6 matches of the season, of the OVC part of the season. So that's going to be a good test. I think, getting on the road, we've done that enough, so we feel like, we know what to expect, and we'll be ready on Friday night. We'll work on getting 2 wins this weekend, and then going into the following week at home against Tech and Jacksonville State. And again, those are 2 teams that are on our side of the bracket. And they're 2 teams that we have to beat. And when you're defending your home court, you got to be willing to do that.
Get some of your young ladies' names in here. Nikki Dorst and Selena Sanks are the outside hitters leading you statistically. Rachel Woody is your setter, and Chloe Rojas is a defensive specialist. Of those 4 that are leading you statistically, is one of them emerging as the leader of the team?
Nikki and Selena are, because they're both our outsides. They're both seniors, and they are accountable and responsible for, our league is an outside hitters league. So those people have to be really, really effective. They can't take a set or a match off. They've got to be able to perform at a high level, and they have been. They're just running out of gas at certain spots, and that's why we've lost a couple 5-setters that against really good teams that had we been able to rest them a little bit more, we might have had a different result. And then our leadership out of Rachel Woody, she's our setter. She's the quarterback making the decisions with the ball. She does a great job. And then Chloe has taken on our libero, our defensive role, and she does a nice job with ball control. And, we just have so many parts that can be really, really explosive, and it's a matter of putting them together at the right time.
Okay, thanks, Lori. Good luck as you start OVC play, and hope all the fans show up September 29th, second home game, first in the conference against Tennessee Tech.
Thank you so much, Craig.
All right, Lori Duncan, the head volleyball coach. And that does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. You can easily keep up with the Colonels anywhere you are. Just like and follow our channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next week, so long, everybody.